Hey folks, welcome to the channel, and in this case we continue talking about EDC, expanding our EDC now, talking about an EDC bag, a little fanny pack, one of these shoulder bags, or actually a bigger proper backpack, which is perfectly reasonable. It's something that is very much gray man. Someone was making a great point about, hey, all of these guys that talk about gray man this, gray man that, and then they have all tactical clothing. That's not gray man. You look like a fucking soldier. What are you talking about? Exactly right, my friend who made that comment. It is true. If you're going all tactical, you're not gray man one thing. That little East pack backpack, that is super gray man. A little bit of a dark blue. I don't know if the color. This color, like a dark blue backpack, that is every kid in college, every kid in high school, ever. You're absolutely gray, man. Now, you can even go with something like this, which is something I was using yesterday, right? Little East pack fanny pack. Yeah, these days you carry it like across your chest, which is actually maybe a little bit more convenient even. So yeah, it makes sense. That's what I was using yesterday. So, as we talked about in previous videos, there's things you want to have with you at all times, right? You will have your keys, you will have your wallet, you will have your cell phone, and for those of us that are into survival and preparedness, you'll probably have your flashlight and little knife of one kind or another. I'm very much a believer in having a multitude at all times, but this would be the typical things that you would have. Now, what if you expand this beyond what's in your pockets? Well, that's what we'll cover here. Before I go on, I don't want to forget, you have my books, Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse. Links for those in the description below, and I'll leave links for all of these things available in Amazon. If you want to go check it out, be my guest. Much appreciated if you use the links. Those are the referral links from the Amazon website. Does not change your price one bit, but it does help out the channel, so I appreciate if you use those. So, what are we talking about here? What am I gonna use? Well, I actually have a good example because this is what I took with I walked with my wife yesterday. Just walking 15,000 steps. I don't know how much that is. That's one of the little walks we do here in my house, right? We go for a little bit of a walk. We go down to the beach, walk along the beach, then come back through a park that has nice trees, and also it's a nice little way of it's not super exercise. I mean, yeah, sure, you're getting your steps in, sure, but mostly so as to change a little bit of scenery, just breathe fresh air, chat a little bit, and spend time with your loved ones, right? That makes perfect sense. Well, this is what I took yesterday, and I think I don't have anything here. Well, I just removed, I had these in there, so my sunglasses were in here. Why? Because I was reading about how using these all the time may not be all that healthy. You need some of those rays of sun in your eyes. They have some benefits. I also took this multi-tool with me, even though I did have this one in my pocket, I believe. Why? Because at times, if we're going to be spending more time in the beach and I'm wearing like a swimsuit so as to actually go in the water, I will not have all of that stuff in my pants. It's going to be the replacement, so as to have a multi-tool with me. This is a Swiss Tech, basically a copy, a clone, now that these are perfectly legal to make because the patent has expired. So it's basically a wave made by one of these companies. A lot more affordable and makes great sense as a secondary multi-tool. Water. How many of these bags do I see and people don't have water? You need to have water. If you're going to be walking longer distances, if you're going to be spending any amount of time out, you want to have water. This is the smallest water bottle I came across. Number of different brand names, doesn't matter. One of these stainless steel bottles. Yeah, nice dent that it got. I just see that now. So you drop things, you use them. That's the point. I don't have any of the Kleenex napkins. I actually use them all because, as you see by my tone of voice, I'm a little bit of under the weather, right? On this exterior pocket, I will have flashlight. Even though I had one in my pocket, I will have a little Bic lighter with gaffer's tape. Gaffer's tape is awesome. If you don't know about gaffer's tape, you're missing out. And underneath that gaffer's tape, which is a nice rubbery texture tape, which is kind of expensive, but I think it's absolutely worth it. I love that stuff. Yeah, besides being a freaking lighter, I have some orange duct tape from 3M. Nothing fancy, duct tape and gaffer's tape, one on top of the other, and a lighter. I will have a little, I have this flashlight, even though I had my main flashlight, my AAA one over there, but this just goes in there because, as I said before, if I don't have my typical pocket EDC because of the way I'm wearing, the clothes I'm wearing that specific moment, I have most of those things covered here still, and even more some. Plasters, just Band-Aids, ibuprofen, aspirin, little else. Just a tiny little first aid kit for little boo-boos, just little knee that got, kids in the park or whatnot. I have some fisherman friends. These are pretty nice, and the bag is all ripped to pieces, but still there. And that's kind of it. That's all I have here. It also gives me the option of putting my wallet in here, dropping the cell phone in there as well, in the back pocket. So this will be a little bit of expanding my EDC and including throwing my pocket EDC in there as well, or as an alternative if this is all I have when I go out the door. I grab this, I grab my keys and cell phone and wallet and whatnot, and I'm good. Now, if I'm going for even more, I have two bags that I'm pretty often using rather often these days. This one that I've shown in previous videos, this is a little Miltech, I'll try finding the link for this thing. Maxpedition makes one very similar. It's just a single sling backpack, or a proper larger backpack where here you have, like, you can put fleece, you can put a rain jacket, you just have more options. But if I'm going with that, I will usually add a few more things. I will have a battery pack. This is essential. If you're gonna traveling, battery pack, you need that. You need a cable to go along with it. These are okay. An even longer cable is often even more useful. Now, this is a pretty long cable, and the long cable has the advantage of, if you've ever been in an airport, in a train station, and sometimes you have the USB that's further away and it's next to this weird guy that smells like fish or whatnot. Well, you just connect this and you have a nice amount of distance. With a shorter cable, you kind of have to be right there on top. With a longer cable, that's a little bit more useful. And if it's one of these braided, stronger cables, man, you could use this for tying up a little bit something. It's going to be pretty strong. So double use there in this thing. I'll usually throw in a headlamp if I'm going with a little bit of a bigger backpack. Why? Because light is that important. And I will usually have some kind of radio if we're going with other people. My wife, my kids, having some of these. I often will have something like this. This is the Baofeng UV5R, but with a rubber ducky antenna. Just makes it a little bit more compact. You don't have, this antenna is not as good as the original antenna that comes in this thing, but this is a little bit longer. So you have something there maybe to consider. You could even remove it and make things a little bit more compact, but this one is okay. I mean, it's not great. It's not as good as a bigger antenna, and you can have those freaking 3 feet long antenna that fall in several places. You see soldiers using those, and they use those because they have a lot more reach. But this, for more of the closer distance kind of thing, this works fine. This is even better. This is more compact. And the basic Motorola FRS radio is just fine too. Now, this is more capable. This will have a flashlight. This will have an FM radio in it. This will have a lot more power in that battery that it has. And you may even find like the charging stations to put this on and charge it in most places, like malls or anywhere where they use radios often. They will probably have some of these. So there's a chance that you may be able to charge it. There are some of these that come with a USB to charge them too. So, check that out too. This could be one of the options, but some of these, I often find myself carrying this one, especially in the bigger backpack. This is the one I often end up carrying. As we continue, a notebook and a pen. This is just a tiny, what's the brand of this thing? Troika, Troika little pen. It just has a rubber thing here for using it as for writing in a cell phone or tablet. You have the pen itself, and this one happens to have something that is, you have a ruler there too, but here you have also flat screwdriver and Phillips. You can use either one. The flat screwdriver is kind of sharp, so you could use it for cutting something if you don't want to bring out a blade. So you could use that for opening packages and whatnot. Just a tiny pen and a notepad. That's kind of it. I will usually have, if I'm going with a bigger backpack, I will probably go with a tablet like this. Why? Well, because of the bigger screen, the bigger battery, and you have maps that you can download so as to navigate offline. That is something that a lot of people don't quite consider, and it's a huge advantage. Wherever you are in the world, if you have the maps already downloaded, this can be a very useful tool. And besides, for going online, checking different websites, just easier to do that with this. Especially, let's say you're traveling, you're in a hotel or you're staying somewhere. Instead of going with your cell phone, you have a nice bigger screen. And at least for me, when out and about, having the bigger map to, especially, oh yeah, we're gonna go here. Oh, everyone looking in the tiny cell phone. No, you can just share and just talk about stuff like, yeah, it's a little bit more convenient to have this. And as you see, it's very worn and torn because it does get used. So that's basically what I look at in terms of EDC bag and expanding things a little bit more. Now, you do you. Oh, but I'll bring a bunch of magazines for my Glock. Okay, fantastic. Just go with that. No, I always carry my shotgun, so I have in my EDC bag, I bring a shit ton of shells for my 12 gauge. Okay, you're EDC carrying a shotgun with you. I mean, maybe you work in a ranch or in a you're a park ranger, I don't know. So maybe that's your need. That's definitely not what I need on a daily basis. And again, maybe for a daily basis, I'm okay with my pocket EDC. This is what I will have when going maybe on a longer walk. So again, water is going to be something more of a priority, and a little first aid kit in case someone is not feeling well, or you just scrap and a little bit of a knee injury because you fell or whatnot, and stuff like that. That's going to be it. I can expand that first aid kit and go with a nice tourniquet, which is usually going to be in the larger backpacks, in the larger bags if I'm going with that. Some C-Log gauze, if you've seen in other videos of mine. But it's just a matter of understanding what your needs are, what your priorities are. Yours may be different from mine, and go from there. Folks, that's going to be all for now. I'll see you on our next video. So have an awesome day.